meal prepping some breakfast foods. Good morning, friends. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm just out for a morning walk and thought I'd bring you along with me. This week I'm going to do a breakfast prep because I was really craving breakfast. So it's going to be all things breakfast. So hope you enjoy. So everything I'm making is going to be breakfast foods. I was just really craving breakfast the last few days, and I love having breakfast for lunch, breakfast for dinner, breakfast all the time. So that's what I'm doing. We're going to start off with some blueberry muffins. I have in this bowl 3 overripe bananas, which is the whole reason why I'm doing this. I had those, and I also had blueberries on hand, and so I thought, perfect, I'll do that. So in this bowl, we're going to start with the 3 bananas. We're going to mash those up. To that, I'm going to add a cup of milk, and you can use any kind of milk you want. I'm going to use this unsweetened vanilla almond milk. Truly, whatever milk. You can use an oat milk, you can use, whatever you actually like is going to work just fine. To that, we're also going to add 2 eggs and then a teaspoon of vanilla extract. You can use pure vanilla, you can use imitation, whatever you have on hand is completely fine. So we'll get that going here in this bowl first. So I'm going to go ahead and mash these up. And I measure vanilla with my heart. So I tell you a teaspoon, but really I'm probably going to put a whole lot more than that. I just do a little splash. And I could probably get away with doing maybe like 3 egg whites. I've never actually tried that with this, but I'm sure it would probably work, or even, like 1 egg and a little bit of egg whites, like from the carton, that would probably work too. But 2 eggs throughout the whole 12 muffins is not too bad. And my cup of milk going in. I'm just going to stir that all together. In here I have 3 cups of old-fashioned oats. You can use instant oats. You can use pretty much whatever you like. To that, we're going to add a 1/2 cup of brown sugar and 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And this is going to be our leavener to make our muffins hopefully pop up really nice. So let me get this in there. You know how I enjoy opening new containers? I don't feel that way about bags. Things in bags is just kind of more annoying because it's at the top and I'm always afraid I'm gonna spill, and so I don't get the satisfaction out of trying new bags. Except a little bit with brown sugar because it's like, nice and moist and still good. It's not all hard and you don't have to fight with it. All right, so we need 1/2 cup. And I'm kind of lightly packing it. You can, depends how sweet you want them, right? It's to taste. So if if you wanted to pack that in a little bit firmer, you could. You'd have a little bit sweeter. If you don't want it quite as sweet, you can cut it down a little, but I wouldn't change the ratios dramatically just because it is still baking. And then my 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Okay, so I'm just gonna combine all this together. And these muffins, well, I'm not going to sit here and say they're perfectly healthy for you because, there's brown sugar in them and stuff. You could, of course, use like a blend of brown sugar. I thought about doing that. I don't think I've ever done it in this recipe. I could be wrong. So you definitely do that to kind of, of course, keep the calories even lower. But as this recipe sits, it's at about 150 calories per muffin, which isn't too bad. So if you just do that and even like, an egg or something like that for breakfast, or if you did this for lunch, you could do, you could even have 2 of them if you wanted to be. Crazy, but you could do one of these and you could do like a little, breakfast sausage with it or something like that. Would be really good. So there's lots and lots of different ways that you can, kind of incorporate this into the meal prep, but I just like having them ready because then that kind of gives me more options. And again, as long as I've got stuff ready to go and ready to grab, I'm going to make better choices. I was doing so well and then I spilled right then. All right. So I'm going to combine these 2 together. I'm going to get these combined. I'm hoping this isn't too liquidy. My bananas were actually pretty big. I maybe should have stuck with just 2 because those bananas were actually kind of big. So it's fine, but it should be a tiny bit drier than this. So yeah, my bananas were kind of a little big. I probably should have stuck with 2 of them. I don't usually buy those huge bananas, but lately it's like I either find like teeny tiny ones or ginormous ones. I don't know what's happening to the ones in the middle, but it'll be just fine. You could add, if this happens to you, you could add some more oats to this. I think it's going to be just fine, so I'm going to leave it, but you definitely could, you know, of course, just go throw another, you know, quarter cup oats in it or something like that. So to that, I'm just going to fold in some blueberries, and I don't actually really measure these. I'm doing about a cup roughly, but really I just sort of do it till it looks good. So I'm going to rinse these real quick. Okay, so this is what I usually do, and I would just dump it in, but because I have this 1 cup that I used for that milk, I'll go ahead and pour this into here first, and we'll see how close to a cup my eyeballing was. Oh, that's pretty darn close. Basically, I'm just folding them in. I'm going to do it with a spoon because it's already dirty, but you just don't want to, you know, smash them too much, of course. And you just want to get them incorporated throughout so that every single one gets at least a few blueberries. And then sometimes I'll actually go back and add a few on the top too if it doesn't seem like I had enough. Oops, let me get in the center here. There we go. And then I'm just going to fill my muffin tins. So I have my muffin tins ready. These are just those silicone inserts that I have in here, but you can use paper, you can just spray it, whatever you prefer to do. I'm gonna take a nice heaping spoonful. Yeah, this is wetter than I want it to be. We're gonna go with it. It's fine. Kind of wish I'd put a little less milk in if I'd have thought about how big my bananas were, but it'll work out. And I just like this recipe because I like to do something different with my bananas besides always doing banana bread. And don't get me wrong, I love banana bread. I think potentially I've done it on this channel too. Because I could eat banana bread all the time. I do love it. But it's just kind of nice to have something else, you know, to be able to do with, you know, your bananas when they go a little too far. And I do love blueberry muffins. So, and blueberries actually have been reasonably priced in my area. I don't know about yours, but lately I've been actually able to get a decent price on them because, you know, I don't know about you, but I'm definitely shopping sales right now, and with inflation the way it is, it's you know, it's just a little challenging. So, and normally, to give you an idea, this normally makes 12. I'm gonna wind up I guarantee I'm gonna wind up with 18 out of this. I'm still gonna count them the same calorie wise though, because the reason I'm getting so much is because I have more banana in there, and so I'm still gonna count them the same, you know, just to, number one, keep things easier, and also because I need to account for the extra banana that I'm getting. So I really hope these work, but if they don't, I will add some more oatmeal to this before I make the next batch. So hopefully I don't regret just going with it, but we'll see. So I've got, my oven is already preheating to 375, so I'm going to pop these in for 25 minutes. I'll probably check them after about 20 just to make sure that, you know, I'm not burning and everything's going well, but I'll get these in the oven. Okay, next up I'm going to make basically a scrambled egg prep. And what that means is I'm putting everything into mason jars. So in the morning when you're, you know, in a rush, you can literally just spray the pan, dump it in, and you have all of your veggies, everything already together in there, and just, you know, cook it up and it's ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and just make 2 of these to start with. So I'm going to take, of course, some, you know, fresh eggs. And then to that, I'm going to add some of these hash browns with onions and peppers as kind of a cheater way to start off. I'm not going to add a whole lot of potatoes, just a few. And then to that, I'm going to add some additional peppers. So it's these pepper strips. And then I have a questionable zucchini, so I'm going to wash this up and hope that it's still good. I'm also going to add some of this onion. I'm not going to probably use the whole thing, but I'll use some of that as well. So let me get this zucchini washed up. And this is another one of those recipes where really you can do anything you like. If I had mushrooms, I would be putting mushrooms in it. You don't want to do too many mushrooms just because it can make it a little bit watery, but it is quite delicious. So you can pretty much do whatever you would like, and you can also chop them as small as you would like. I'm going to go ahead and cut this, I think, one more time just to make it a little bit smaller. I want to make sure that my veggies are going to cook up as quickly as the eggs do, and eggs cook very quick, right? So you want to make sure, you know, I don't mind if zucchini's a little bit raw. Same with, you know, mushrooms, if they aren't completely cooked, you know, completely cooked through there, I still like them and I think they're very good. I wouldn't probably do any veggies that were, you know, something that you don't like to have if it's a little bit raw. And I'm just going to do half a zucchini in each one. And this is a great way to get more veggies in, is try and get veggies in the morning, because I don't know about you, but I tend to not, you know, eat veggies until about lunchtime. So if you have this for breakfast, you know, that's giving you some veggies right in the morning. I'm probably going to use these actually for meal prep for lunches for the days that I'm home, because obviously, you know, when I have to go in, I don't have a stove available, but the days that I'm home, I can cook this up for lunch. So it's probably what I'm going to do. And peppers are next. Next is that onion. And that's chopped pretty finely so that, you know, again, I want it to be able to mostly cook through quickly when it hits the pan. This is only half of that onion, so I've got about a quarter onion going into each one. I may, because I'm a wuss when it comes to onion. Yeah, I think I'm probably just going to go with, I think I'm just going to go with 1/8 of the onion. Because it was a decent sized onion and I don't want it to be overpowering in there either. Okay, next up are the hash browns, again with onions and peppers. I'm going to add very little of this because the potatoes aren't going to, you know, they're not going to brown up in there. They're not going to have enough time in the pan. So they'll be fine. They'll be cooked enough, but I just don't want to add a whole lot to it. Also, I'm adding a lot of calories if I do that too. So I'm just going to do, I think, a 1/4 cup in each. Also, I'm running out of room in the cup too, so. And that'll be plenty. It just sort of gives me a little bit of different flavors and that sort of thing. So you can tell these are nice and full, and I haven't even added the eggs yet, so that's going to be next, obviously. Now there's a couple different ways you could do this. You could keep them just like this in the fridge, and then just dump this in the pan. You could actually brown it up and then add your eggs to that. So that's one way to do it. I'm going to show you the kind of more meal preppy way to do it, which is to go ahead and also add the eggs in there, but you could truly do either. If you really wanted to be able to brown these first, go for it. Just kind of stop there, get those in the fridge, and you're good to go. In here, I'm just gonna do 2 egg whites and 1 egg for each. And I know I've said this before, but I always do the egg whites first. I didn't mean to actually demonstrate why, but that's okay. I do the egg whites first because if I do what I just did and accidentally drop in a yolk, it's still okay. I can still do another egg white. But if I started out with the yolk and then I messed up, then I'm going to put 2 yolks in there. So hopefully I don't mess up this one. There we go. You guys, those muffins are smelling so good. So I have this little baby whisk. You can use a regular whisk. You can use whatever you want. Doesn't matter. And I'm just going to whisk this up real quick. Just to combine is all I'm doing. And I'm just going to pour that over the top. Give it a second to kind of seep in because it's going to go in between everything, so it'll fit just fine. Set a timer for 5 minutes.
5 minutes, starting now.
Okay, I'm just going to lit that up, and that's going to go in the fridge just like that, and it's ready for the pan. Nice and easy. Let me get my other one. You could also, of course, add cheese to this. I'm not going to do that, but you could. You could pour any kind of seasoning into it. So you could do everything with the bagel seasoning. You could do whatever you like. So it's kind of an omelet in a jar. Just do it however you'd like. I've seen lots of people do these, and I've seen them done all different ways. So have fun with it. It's just getting in your veggies and one less thing you have to prep day of. So there's those 2. For these other 2 jars, I'm just going to do overnight oats. So I'm just going to do 1/2 cup of oats in each one. And these are really big, so this doesn't look like much, but it will be plenty filling. And then to that, I'm going to add this cinnamon roll Premier Protein. Incidentally, you guys, there's actually a bunch of different products that just got recalled. I don't know, well, I shouldn't say just, it was probably about 3 weeks ago, but that got recalled. So make sure you check and you know, just double check the SKU and make sure yours isn't recalled if you buy them, and you know, just please check what you have, because I would hate to see somebody get sick. Now I should have probably measured this out, but I'm just eyeballing it. It's fine. So I should 1/2 in each. And then to that, I'm going to chop up this Gala apple. and put that in as well. Always wash up your fruit. Okay, so that is chopped up nice and fine. I'm gonna do about a half an apple in each. And for now, I'm just gonna leave the apple sitting on top. When I actually go to eat this, I will stir it all the way through, but what I want is that liquid to really get absorbed by those oats. So I really do want the liquid to stay on the bottom with the oats. So that's why I'm not, mixing it up together. So I'm gonna leave it just like that. You could also add a little more cinnamon to it if you wanted to. Of course, as always, do whatever you like. And as I'm just kind of getting some stuff put away, my actual diced onions, I'm gonna put those in a Ziploc bag and I'm gonna label it and throw it in my freezer. Always label because you think you'll know what's in there, but you don't. This one I'm just gonna throw in my fridge, but I'm still gonna double bag it. I always suggest double bagging because onions just permeate the bag and you don't want everything else in your refrigerator to get tainted or smell or taste weird. So let me label this. Okay, those muffins are out of the oven. I did keep them in there for the full 30 minutes and they came out just fine. So I'm gonna try popping one out. They're still a little bit hot, so I should let them cool a little more before I try and pop it out of here, but I can't help myself. Does not look so good. These are just delicious. So if I let them cool just a little bit longer before I try and pull them out of there, they'll come out a whole lot easier. And then I'm gonna go ahead and of course make up the rest of the batches. I'm gonna still count these as 150 calories, just because, like I said, there's more, there's a little bit more banana in these than I usually do. So I'm still gonna just count them like I always do. I have my overnight oats, which is that cinnamon and apple overnight oats. I have 2 of those. And I have 2 of these kind of omelet in the jars ready to go. So tons of veg with 2 egg whites and an egg. So I have all of that ready. So I can use this for lunch. I can use it for breakfast. I can use it for dinner. I can use it for whatever. So I have tons and tons ready for the next few days and preparing to have a successful week. I hope you found that helpful and got some good ideas. As always, thank you so much for your time. If you like this kind of video, be sure and click the like button down below. Click subscribe if you haven't already, and click the bell for notifications if you'd like notified each and every Saturday when I upload. I hope you have a very successful week, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys. Good morning, friends. Thank you. I just tripped. And then you can hear my dog playing with her bone. She only ever plays with it when I'm trying to record. It's like she knows.